Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Tuesday. It's May 10th. This will be our chart lesson for the day, and this was a relatively easy day. It was all uphill, really from the open. You can see the 8:30 open where it turns white, and it was uphill all the way. I think there's a bigger pattern here. This brown two-tiered. I put it on there so you could see it. It did come back into play here a couple of times and off the midline, but other than that, that was about it. Um, I also early on I was looking at this green one. I think it's a shorter term. It's a little darker, but I don't think you really needed that. I think if you see the two-tiered blue one here was all you really needed today. So notice that there's still a setup on each of these. So I'm going to remove the green, but that's what I saw early this morning, and it still gave you the same setups. But I'm going to remove it just to make it a little clear, and otherwise it was really straightforward. This looks like a two-tiered channel, like a little spike up and a two-tiered channel working higher. And you can see that trend line was in play all day. We bounced a little early here a couple of times, but the EMA was holding in my opinion. And if you drew that other trend line the way I had it, that might have came into play as well. So anyway, I'm going to back on out here, make it a little bit bigger, and we'll talk about these trades. Oh, actually, let me show you one other thing. You had your measured move. This was your first leg up to this morning. You measure that from there. We had almost a perfect. I think it was almost to the tick. You can see we actually went a couple of ticks higher there. So nice, gave you a nice target. It took it all day just about, but we got there. And once we got there, it turned down. So, but when you find these kind of days, especially when there's lots of little bars and dojis and it just keeps going higher and higher, it does not look like it, but that's a very strong trend, so be aware of that. But let's talk about the trades. First one I saw, this would have been a beautiful setup if you were trading at around 6:20, 6:30 this morning. This is that little push lower that makes the low of the day, and any runners would have been safe on that trade. So if you were trading, you caught that, that was a dandy. But notice you get a failed second entry short here. So go long right there. It took a minute to kind of climb out of there. It was finding some resistance, but this is basically could be considered a double bottom as well. And so we tried to go lower twice. Only reason I don't like this one is you're going sideways, but when it turns down once again and kind of creates that trend line there, but notice that support area across there, it's like we tested it so many times. I liked going long right there. It's like a double test rule basically. And that one finally pushes on through, and then we're coming back. This is the first close outside this little correction. So you'd like to see it make a new low, but it can't. It bounces right off the EMA and turns up. I like that one. It's a very bullish bar, and you're looking for prices to come all the way back up to here, hopefully, and make a measured move. It is close to that high right there, but all the times you've turned down and bouncing off the EMA a higher low there, I like that. Look how bullish that bar is. Just go long above that. It pulls back here and creates a little failed second entry short, but it probably could be green, but I didn't like it because you're getting up in here to this resistance now, and so it could fail and turn down. If you want to be aggressive, though, it's probably worth considering. So it is a failed second entry short. So I'll mark it green. But then we start correcting. You get a little break outside here to move to a new low, and it reverses. This one was supposed to be green too. I forgot to change it. And the only reason this one's green, we're not back to the trend line. It's not a very good signal bar, but we do have a new low, and we tried to push lower and it fails. So you figure you're probably going to try to go higher here, and there's actually a shorter term trend line working up right through there, and we hadn't made a new high yet on that. So you figure we may try to go higher. That's kind of like a little trap there. It's a second entry long as well. Pull back first entry, pull back second. It's two measured legs down. It's just not a great setup, but it does fit our rules to some degree. And so I'll make it green. And then of course we come back here and we don't quite get back to that trend line again there. But if you had that shorter term when I was showing you, we're working on it. But again, that's the first break or close outside, and so wait on something when it turns lower and then turns, it goes right out the other side. Just go long right there. And we had already pushed through here, so this is like a little breakout pullback long with a little short trap there. And again, it takes off again. And again, there's a little shorter term trend line working right up through there, and you get the close outside, a couple of them move to a new high, then you get a little trap there. But I don't think you want to go short here. There's too big. This has been too strong. It's all uphill. There's several different trend lines working around in here. But then we start correcting here. You can see that. Coming back, we get a little close outside, a move to a new low, and this one bounces right off this trend line. Just go long right there. I made this one green again because it's not a great signal bar. It's real close. I mean, this could almost be blue. Again, it's two measured legs down. This is one leg, a little correction, and another leg. But it's not a great signal bar. It is right off that trend line. But I made it green just because it's not a great signal bar, and it's a chance it could always push up right there, and like it tried to do, and come back down and then go higher. It actually goes enough to get your scalp and then turns down. It bounces right off that trend line again. Go long right there. And the hope is you're going to make it back up here to this trend line. Turns out to be a nice move, but we don't get back up there. And then you get two legs back again. It's right at the trend line. You get a little close outside here, but that's a nice bullish reversal bar. Just go long there on that second entry. That's another easy move. And I mean, that was really it for today. It's just, this is one of those days where you get these little small choppy moves that just keep going higher and higher, and there's a lot of dojis in there and a lot of neutral type bars. But look where all the entries are. They're at the key entry points. Trend lines all the way up, or the EMA all the way up. And it was really a nice day. You only had to catch a couple of these. Several of these had runners. So you only had to catch a couple of them, really. But, you know, if you can get 2 or 3 trades out of this whole day, and you can catch a couple of runners, you're good to go. And so there's not much else we can say about that. This one's going to be short and sweet. Again, we'll back out here. Let me just see if there's anything else worth mentioning. You had to be a little concerned about this resistance here, so make sure you got enough room to get out. There's not quite enough here, but you got the little short trap, and you've already pushed through and pulled back, so it's like a breakout pullback long. And it is you can consider that a trap because it broke lower there and then turned up. You probably can't see that. Let me back out again. This one's a little tricky, but it breaks out and turns back down and then goes higher. But you can see that resistance. You did have to be a little bit leery of that. I really believe that the stronger place was right there in this, and you can see how we're getting resistance and support there. So that's really where I think the spot was, and that's like a double test of that. So that's the reason I like that one. So I'm glad I did go back and look at that. What else? That's about it. Another reason, this one's off the trend line, but there's a little bottom, double bottom across there as well. You can see that one. So that's another reason I like that one. And yeah, short and sweet today. I've had a long week, so a couple of days I didn't do this till late. Yesterday I didn't get this done till really late. I apologize. And also, if you were looking for the midday chart yesterday, I did one and I just forgot to publish it. I was busy working on that example of a runner, and I just forgot to publish it and didn't realize I didn't do it. till somebody mentioned it. So that's why you didn't find one yesterday. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do this tomorrow. But I'm out of here for today. Um, yeah, this is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.